Yo, guys, welcome back again today. So today we're going to be talking about more Afro descent news from all around the world. And the first story we're going to talk about is Kimberly Bryant, and she owns Black Girls Code. So Black Girls Code is a non-profit organization that is in multiple cities now that helps young Black women in the inner city, young Black girls, code and learn how to create apps, right? So of course a lot of people know you could just go to YouTube or you can go to the internet and try to learn how to code, but a lot of people, even like me myself, a lot of times throughout my life, I always learn better if there's somebody there that has already done it and is doing it on a daily basis, is really professionally in that field, and they're hands-on with me and they actually show me, take me step by step. Because with the internet, you can learn a lot, but you still miss that element of having a human there to say, hey, you did this right or you did this wrong. You, at the end of the day, you still only have confirmations from something virtual, which is going to be the topic of today, it seems like, for the most part, but you only have the confirmation of either succeeding or not succeeding, yes or no. So when you put a code in or something right, either the function will work in coding or it won't work in coding, and maybe you'll get an error. And I think that sometimes when you watch things on YouTube, when you do steps, you have a yes or no, and then everybody's situation is not the same with the technology that they're using to create something. Whether it be slower, faster, it doesn't have the right specifications. That's why I always tell people learning the specification of your cell phone, of your camera, of your computer, of your car is very important, because the more you understand something, the better decisions you can make when you're buying it. And also you might have more powerful technology in your hand than what you know, but you just don't know how to use it, right? So this nonprofit organization helps young Black girls and gives them a chance, especially after school, to actually physically code and to create apps with people around them and people that will take step by step to help them learn how to code and create apps, right? And I think during COVID, they've had the virtual classroom. So they had like a virtual app classroom. And a lot of people don't realize that in the coding area and the technology area, it's less than, I think, around 3% women as far as actually like coding, if I'm correct, could be wrong about that. But as far as coding, it's less than 3% women in this field. So this is a very male dominated field. There's a lot of room to grow for women, especially for Black women. And I think it's very, very interesting and very, very important, especially with the generation that is coming after my generation, that they know and they keep up with technology as far as coding and virtual reality, because that's really where the world's going to go. A lot of things are going to become less physical and more digital in the sense of what the world has known for maybe thousands and thousands of years. So I think this is a very great program, right? To even have guidance to learn how to code and to learn from somebody that has already went through the hard work, but and understands also like how much it takes to be in an industry that's so male dominated, and you're a Black woman at that. I'm pretty sure that couldn't be an easy field with a lot of people that have a lot of egos and a lot of people that just don't think you know anything, or, you know, there's all kind of different personalities in every industry. Everybody's not nice. So I thought that this was really interesting. This is going to keep with the topic of today when it comes to technology, and I'll have their link down here. I'll have her information down here as well, and you guys should check her out in case you have a young Black woman anywhere around the world. She does virtual classes, so maybe even if you're not in America, you could probably maybe log in and join the virtual class and learn how to code and create apps, right? And this could change your life, and this could change your family's life and people around you and the community in general. So definitely check her out, and on to the next thing. So this next company is called Mashcor, and Mashcor is located in South Africa, Cape Town. And they originally came out in 2018, but they just launched their search engine, their first search engine, a couple of days ago. And they originally in 2018 had a directory of Africa. So there would be a directory online. African companies could list their companies on there, but constantly updating this directory was very hard, and having the African business owners becoming the marketing branch of their company as well as the selling branch of their company was really hard. A lot of people don't realize that it's very hard for companies to market themselves. That's why huge companies usually hire marketing teams, because it's very hard to sell something while also marketing something, unless you're just a huge company that has like a social media department, has a public relations department. It's a lot. I have my own business too, and I know it's hard to market and to actually sell goods or provide services at the same time. It's very hard. So the search engine is African owned in South Africa, and the goal of this search engine is to connect all people in Africa with businesses and with websites and services within Africa. So if you don't know, on the continent of Africa, there's over 53 or 54 countries, and there's 1.2 billion people in Africa, in the continent of Africa, right? So that's 1/7 of the population of the whole world. So a lot of times in Africa, depending on what country you go to, it varies from country to country. But overall, in the continent of Africa, there's still a big issue with stability of electricity overall, not every individual country, but overall, and also internet speeds, right? So if I'm correct, the internet speeds right now in Africa, for the most part, they're still trying to roll out 4G, while in America and maybe other countries, they have 5G now, right? So understanding what's going on around you on your continent can make you readjust and adapt to making new ways of technology and trying to solve problems, right? Solve problems that maybe other countries or continents might not have as a whole, but Africa has at this moment. So there's over 500 or so, actually, no, I'm wrong, maybe over 700 tech companies within Africa that are African owned or based in Africa. And a lot of money is actually being invested into Africa. A lot of these companies know in America and outside of Africa, and as we know, Asian countries, China especially, they know that Africa has a huge market, and Africa has been having a lot of virtual payments for a long time now, like a lot longer than some places in the world. And as you know, you can't really have infrastructure until there's stability, as far as infrastructure that is like a for sure everything's going to work. Stability always comes first. Then once you have stability, you move on to food and shelter and education. And then after that, once you meet those basic human needs, then you can move on to further technologies. That's every country, every continent. That's just the basis of human beings for the most part. And that's just usually how bigger countries or bigger continents work when it comes to developments of countries, right? For the most part. Sometimes it could be a little different here and there, but for the most part. So since we're starting to see more stability in some African countries, as far as maybe the last, 50 to 60 years in certain countries. Like I said, there's over 50 something countries in Africa. So every country doesn't have the same history in the sense of stability, instability. Some African countries were stable 50 years ago. They might not be now. Some African countries are stable now, but 100 years ago, they weren't, in the sense of keeping up with modern technology around the world, right? As far as information technology, fiber optics, right? And IBM is actually investing a lot of money into Africa. They're actually making a campus, if I'm correct, in Africa. And so what's happened in the past is that there's been a lot of talent, a lot of innovation, a lot of amazing people when it comes to modern technology, not traditional technology, but modern technology, what people would consider modern technology, even though it's very arguable that ancient civilizations in Africa already had certain modern technologies that we have today. But that's for another video, right? But as far as the internet, people don't realize that there's a huge boom in Africa going on with technology right now. And so many young people are using technology in Africa. Even older people are using technology in Africa. And there's this transition that you can see now from maybe a time where technology wasn't so looked at as like a common thing in certain African countries, to where now people in Africa are like, yo, we need to catch up with the world and we need to surpass the world, right? Like this is this mentality and this hunger in Africa. So you have this search engine called Mashcor, and Mashcor is trying to be the first all African internet search engine for the whole continent. They want to take over the whole market. And at this moment, they have millions of African businesses on this search engine. And it's just interesting to see, because a lot of times there's piggybacking from other search engines, as we know, like Google or other search engines that are big around the world, but like making your own search engine for Africa. And actually I would love to see if Mashcor could eventually list all African people all around the world, all melanated people around the world. So instead of just Africa, which I understand why you're based in Africa right now, but you would add in the Caribbeans, you would add in the Americas for maybe African American businesses to join in as well on this directory. So if somebody is on vacation from Africa and they're in America, they can find different black businesses in America, right? Ethiopian American business, Nigerian American, African American. And then when you're in the Caribbean, somewhere like Trinidad, you could find local black businesses in Trinidad, and companies if you wanted to work with them, and in Asia and India. So I would love to see Mashcor after they, sort of take over the market, if that will happen in Africa. I would love to see them expand it to the whole world, like have a worldly mind state on this, which I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that I would love to see that, to have a search engine that is just for people of African descent that we could just use. Like, yo, we on Mashcor. Okay, cool. We need to find this, we're on Mashcor. Because I know a lot of people have tried to do this in their separate region or the separate countries, and they made directories and all this kind of stuff. But I think we have to have one united core search engine that can rival anything in the world, right? It will take time, of course. Whenever you're not the first to the game or have created the technology, yeah, it's going to take time. I get it. But we are seeing this new rising of technological Africa, and I love it because there's so many young engineers and so many young people that are into coding in Africa, and more, and all black communities around the world need to get into technology. Technology is a big deal. We need more coders, we need more programmers, we need more engineers, whether it's mechanical engineer or software engineers. These are all the things we're going to need to keep up with the world or surpass the world, because the world is going to get more virtual and more technological in the future. So yo, if you're watching this and you just like really young, like maybe like you're a teenager or you're like a kid, ask your parents or try to learn to be a programmer, to code, because decentralizing anything, meaning that something doesn't necessarily have to be in one location, it can be all around the world simultaneously. That's going to be the future, right? There's always going to be main locations for everything, there's always going to be a headquarters for everything, but decentralizing in general, that's going to be the future. And I think that our mind state as people of African descent, we need to really focus on decentralized technologies, and also focus on programming and coding and understanding how information moves and how fast information moves. Because one of the most valuable things outside of currencies, economics, is information. Information might be the most valuable. I would say knowledge is power. Knowledge is the most valuable thing. And it's just very important. Information is very important. The faster you get information to somewhere, the faster you can win some battle, the faster that you can create some new technology, the faster that you can transfer money. So information is key. And I think that this is a great start. So if you guys want to check them out, I'll have their link at the bottom. You can check out the search engine and you can start trying to use it. I'm actually going to have it on my phone, so I'm going to start trying to use it. And this will actually be amazing, because maybe I can just source out different African materials, African masks and African rugs, any type of thing, art, and then maybe I can just go straight directly to a man in Ghana or straight directly to a woman in the Congo, and I could just buy it, she can ship it to me in the States. Yo, economics, you know what I'm saying? So yo guys, on to the next thing. So for the last story, John Magufuli, I hope I'm saying that right, the president of Tanzania, passed away, if I'm correct, last Wednesday, so I'm a little late, and he was 61 years old. He was very skeptic about the coronavirus, and he basically said it didn't exist. And some people are saying that they think that he passed away from that. I really don't know. But he was in the hospital and he passed away at 61 years old. And a lot of people know him. I think his nickname was the Bulldozer, because he was very advocate and very stern about certain things in his country and to his allies. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know who the president of Tanzania was. I don't really know who most presidents are of most African countries, to be honest with you, and that's my ignorance. I need to work on understanding who the presidents are. There are just so many. But I could also say that I don't know most presidents around the world or prime ministers outside of maybe the US, maybe Canada, and maybe Japan, Ethiopia, and who else? I think like Nigeria, maybe Ghana, and who else? And Rwanda. those are really about the only presidents that I actually know. I should probably get better at it, but it's just so much to know in this life, and I research and I'm into so many different things, so it's so hard to keep up. But he passed away at 61. I know that Tanzania is sort of kind of like the sleeping giant. I know Tanzania for the last couple of years has been economically growing and is one of the fastest growing African countries, and if I'm correct, very peaceful from what I know. I could be wrong about that, but it's very peaceful for what I know. I've always wanted to go to Tanzania. I think some people in Africa, they say Tanzania, or they say it a different way, but I say Tanzania. I know it might be pronounced a different way, the original way. But yeah, I only know Tanzania as a beautiful country, especially Dar es Salaam. And I only know it to be a good country. I've read articles, I've watched a lot of documentaries where it seems that Tanzania is getting better. The technology, the economics, everything seems to getting better in Tanzania. Of course, if somebody's from Tanzania, they can let me know. Excuse my ignorance. I can only keep up with so much. It's a whole world out here, you know. He did pass away at 61. If I'm correct, I think the vice president is going to take over for now, and then I don't know when re-elections are. I don't know what's going to happen next, to be honest with you. But he did pass away last Wednesday, and I'm going to actually follow up to it a little bit more because I need to know these things, because at one point Tanzania is definitely one of the places that I want to go, would love to go, especially Dar es Salaam. And I think it's an amazing country in East Africa. So, yo guys, that's all the news today that we have. If you love this video, please like it, subscribe, turn on your bell notification down there so you'll always get my videos. Also, make sure that you add me on all social medias, which is Afric Network, which is Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Facebook, Snapchat. And yo, each one teach one. Always love each other, always learn from each other, and always try to gain as much information in this world as possible. Don't be closed-minded. Try to be as open-minded as you can. And yo guys, until next time, peace. One love.